So, around about 3 months ago, I very nearly spent about £8,000 on the wrong maxi scooter. Yeah. See, it looked perfect on paper. Nice big engine, shiny tech, loads of reviews saying how brilliant it was. And it was brilliant. But when I finally jumped on it, well, yeah, it just didn't feel right. So today, I'm going to show you why I'm glad I didn't actually buy it, and also how you can avoid making the same mistakes that I very nearly did make. So, my name's Rob, and after a few years away from bikes completely, I spent quite a few weeks researching maxi scooters. I nearly made just about every mistake that you can think of. Buying too much bike, ignoring things like seat height and additional budgets. And I ended up kind of nearly paying way more than I actually needed to. So, whether you're returning to two wheels after a break, or you just maybe want something a little bit more comfortable than your current tourer, or maybe that quick sports bike that is currently gathering dust in the garage, well, hopefully this guide will save you a bit of time, it will save you money, and save you some headaches along the way as well. Now, unlike some reviewers on here, I'm not sponsored by any of the brands or by any of the bike companies or by anyone at all. I've just kind of learned the hard way. I've done my research, I've spoke to riders, I've been around the forums, and I've got my own comments coming in on my YouTube channel as well. And so with all of that, I can share what I wish I'd known sooner as well. All those live lived experiences. So this is what we're going to go through in the next few minutes. We're going to look at what a maxi scooter actually is and what it's not. I've covered that off in more detail in other videos as well, so you can still find those on the channel. We will look also at some real world budget breakdowns. We're going to start at the kind of entry level, the £2,500 range, up to the £12,000 range as well. I'll look at some of the key features that actually really matter to us as mature riders. Not just the kind of brochure fluff that we like reading, but some of the important stuff. I will cover off 4 expensive mistakes that as returning riders we often make, and how to avoid making them as well. I will give you 5 top picks for top maxi scooters based around different budgets and different needs. That has come from real riders' experiences as well. Not just reviews, but real riders' experiences. We'll look at what to do on your test rides. That's really crucial. And we'll also look at some of those kind of year one running costs as well, because let's face it, that £4,000 scooter that you've bought often turns into a £5,500 scooter once you've added things like insurance and tyres and a decent service as well. So, if that sounds like a plan, stick with me for the next few minutes. So, let's kick off. What exactly is a maxi scooter? Well, I've covered this in more detail in other videos, but in simple terms, a maxi scooter is basically a bigger, more comfier scooter with an engine of 300 cc's or more. They are built for proper journeys, they're built for practicalities, they're built for commuting. Think kind of comfort meets city convenience. So because they are mid-range engines, you get motorway speeds, you get long distance comfort, and you get storage space all thrown in as a standard spec without kind of having to add lots of additional storage options that can make some bikes look a little bit overloaded. So how do they differ from the more traditional motorbike? Well, in so many ways really, but we'll just pick out some of the key ones. Of course, with a scooter, there are no gears. They just twist and go. Dead easy to ride. You get the step-through design as well, so it's really easy to get on and off. You don't have to throw your leg over the back of a high bike. You get big windscreens, big leg shields, proper weather protection thrown in. From a practicality perspective, you get huge under-seat storage, and it often fits 2 helmets as standard. And your riding position is different as well. It's more relaxed, it's more upright, so you're more visible, you've got great visibility. Now, some people do still say, yeah, scooters, they're not real bikes. You will hear that, but ignore it. Because if it gets you out riding and it puts a smile on your face, well, it is a real bike, isn't it? So let's look at some budget breakdowns and some kind of year one costs over and above the purchase price. Because, yeah, that's where things kind of get real. So before we even get to the models and some of those top ones that we can look at, you need to know what you will actually be spending in year one. So here's a very rough guide, and it is rough. Of course, your own individual circumstances will be different. From an insurance angle, you're looking at probably £300 to £800, depending on a number of things like your age, your postcode, and the bike that you ride. It's hugely variable, but there's your kind of ballpark. From a service perspective, you're looking at between £150 and £400. Tyres, you might need to add on some new tyres, £200 to £400. And think about your gear upgrade as well. You might need some new gear. So I would budget between £750 and £1,500 on top of the cost of your bike in your first year as well. It's really important to know that, because the difference between a £4,000 scooter and an £8,000 scooter isn't just the kind of power that you get and the badge you get on it. It's about how easy it is to live with and how affordable it is every single day as well. So let's work our way through some of the price ranges, starting at about 2.5k, heading up to around the 12k area. So that first range, the used range, if you like, 2.5 to 4k, this is where you will find some real bargains if you look hard enough and you know what you're looking for. You'll find some older but solid machines in this range, bikes that will still serve you for many, many years to come. You can probably find things like the Suzuki Bergman 650, maybe between 2005 and 2012, maybe the Yamaha X-Max 400 or the Honda Silverwing 600. They're all really good, solid bikes. They're a little bit older maybe, but they're comfy, they're dependable. But as with anything used, the key thing here is just know the condition. Condition is everything with anything secondhand. So always check for service history. Check out how well looked after it's been. Expect to spend maybe another 500 quid to 1,000 quid, getting the tyres upgraded, getting the fluids all sorted out and getting the belts up to scratch as well. But if you're a returning rider or anyone wanting maybe a cheap, reliable second runaround transport without the fuss, that entry-level market, the 2.5 grand to 4 grand, is a great place to look. They hold their value well because they've already had their depreciation. They're simple machines, they're proven as well. So that's a good place to start to look. Next up, we're going to look in the mid-range, the £4,000 to £7,000 range, or the sweet spot, as I kind of call it. This is where most returning riders and downsizers will find their kind of perfect balance of comfort, of performance, of practicality, and of budget as well. So in here, because the kind of newer bikes to a certain degree, you can expect new features like ABS, maybe traction control. You probably start to find you can integrate your smartphone connectivity and things like that as well. So your typical options within this kind of mid-range are things like the Forza 350, the Honda Forza, or the Honda ADV 350, the Yamaha X-Max 300, again the Suzuki Bergman 400, maybe the BMW C400 GT, all as used bikes. They're still new enough to be reliable, but someone else has already taken the kind of depreciation hit, so you can get some really good value bikes in that mid-range section. The best value tip here is to look for kind of 2020 to 21 models. They're maybe just out of warranty, but they're not yet overridden, not over mileage, and they're not overpriced. And then the next range is what I call the premium territory. We're looking at kind of £8,000 to £12,000 here. This is where we're kind of into the big boys territory. The Honda 4s are 750, the Yamaha T-Max 560, maybe the BMW 650 GT. These have all got bigger engines, the 500 to 750cc engines. They've got cruise control, heated grips, maybe different riding models as well and different riding modes. Proper touring kit. These things will eat the motorways for breakfast. But they come with a compromise because they're heavier, they're much heavier bikes, they're much more complex. They come at a higher cost, higher purchase costs and running costs as well. From a depreciation reality, if you are buying new, you probably need to expect to lose £1,000 to £2,000 in year one as well if you buy a brand new bike. So who do these suit? Well, maybe it's those riders who know they're coming back in for the long haul. You know, it's a longer term investment, and maybe you're just looking for that one machine that kind of does it all. And those who kind of want the scooter lifestyle and the comfort and riding positions, but without kind of trading down in engine size as well. So that's your kind of range. Let's start to look at some of the key features that kind of really do matter. I will narrow them down. Forget all about the glossy brochures. These are the things that actually matter, that make or break your day-to-day riding. So the first and perhaps most important one to take into account is your seat height and your ergonomics, just the comfort of the ride. If you can't flat foot it when you're at a stop, probably walk away, because at our age, balance and comfort, well, that kind of matters far more than the bragging rights that we used to rely upon. So my tip here is when you do sit on it, try it out. Try every bike in your full gear at the dealer. Take your helmet, take your jacket, take your own boots, take the lot. Why is that? Because, well, to be honest, your perception changes massively once you're kitted up in the right gear. It's pointless sitting on it in shorts and flip-flops in the middle of summer when you're going to be riding it in CE gear in the middle of winter. Number two, check the storage. Have a reality check around that. Scooters win really big in this sector, of course they do, but don't assume anything. Make sure that your helmet, actual helmet, fits under the seat, and ideally that there's space for other stuff as well, like your gloves or your glasses or a small bag. The critical test here is bring your own helmet to the showroom. You might have a cargo unit stuck on the side of it. Will that affect the storage? It's the difference between faffing about with something that doesn't fit and the freedom of something that does. So this also, have something in mind here. It's where the largest scooters sometimes do have to compromise because, you know, the bigger the engine, the less the storage in some cases. So if you're thinking about the bigger bike, again, just do the sense check on the space. The third one is weather protection. Excuse me. If, like me, you are riding in the UK, well, this one's essential. Look for adjustable windscreens that, you know, will deflect air not into your head but over it as well. Look hard at the leg protection that the fairing provides. Look at the hand protection on the handlebars. Have you got optional heated grips or taller windscreens, you know? Because cold, wet misery kills enthusiasm faster than anything else does. So spend a little bit of time just reviewing that. Spend a bit of money there if you can. And you'll thank yourself every single winter, every time the weather kind of turns. Number 4 is just become familiar and know all about CVT and DCT. The transmission matters here. You'll have no clutch, you'll have no gears, you'll just have twist and go. Now, for many returning riders, myself included in that, it's an absolute revelation. But make sure that you ride one first, because some people find CVTs maybe a little bit too detached from, the traditional riding. Other people, again, myself included, never want to go back. I absolutely love it, the ease of it. So they're kind of really important things to have in mind. Let's come on now to look at some of the expensive mistakes to avoid. If you can avoid these, you'll save yourself thousands of pounds and maybe a little bit of pride as well. Number one mistake to avoid is buying too much bike. Don't be tempted to jump straight to a 12 grand T-Max if you haven't ridden in a few years. Some of these bikes are heavy, they're powerful, and they're really expensive to drop and to fix if you have dropped it. So maybe start mid-range, maybe build up your confidence levels first, test it out, know the market, know the bike, and then upgrade later on if you want to. I get it. We're all tempted to overbuy. It's part of the fun. I was tempted myself, but it's cheaper, a lot cheaper if you don't overbuy. Number two, mistakes to avoid, ignoring the seat height. If you're on tiptoes at every single light stop, you're going to learn to hate it, right? The fun will wear off rapidly. Comfort equals confidence over distance. So just do a simple test. When you get on the bike, can you put both your feet flat or very close to flat? And if it's a no, keep looking. Number three mistakes to avoid is skipping the test ride. Always test before you buy. You're spending thousands of pounds of your hard-earned money here, so make sure that it fits you, make sure it's the right bike for you. And if a dealer won't offer a test ride, well, go and find one that does and walk away, no exceptions. Number four, expensive mistake to avoid, buying private without doing the checks first of all. Unless you're mechanically confident, stick to a dealership or pay someone and do a pre-purchase inspection. Because an extra £100 now can save you thousands of pounds and can save you a lot of disappointment later on down the line as well. So yeah, take your pick. They're the important things, important mistakes to avoid. So now let's take a look at the top 5 maxi-scooters for returning riders. Now, these are top picks, not just personal top picks. These are all researched from numerous different forums, from the comments that I receive on my YouTube channel, and from real riders' experiences as well, from numerous different online forums. This is not sponsored content. It's not my own opinion. These are comments from various different sources, and they are all unsponsored, honest, lived experience views, direct from the riders like yourself. So, from all of the research, coming in as the best value maxi scooter is the Suzuki Bergman 400. Sometimes the comments suggest it's a little bit boring, and maybe it is, but it's also often called brilliant, and absolutely it is. It has huge storage, it has all-day comfort, and it's got rock solid reliability as well. From all the comments that I get, from all the research, it's the sensible commuter's dream. It's not an exciting bike, but that's not what it's about. That's the kind of point. So that's number one. Next up, best for building confidence is the Yamaha X-Max 300. This one always scores really highly in the confidence area. It's light, it's agile, it's often described as confidence inspiring. It's perfect for new or returning riders who basically want something easy to live with. It's pretty cheap to run, it's easy to ride, and it's easy to love. The storage in there is really decent. It's not class leading storage. There are other bikes with more storage, but it ticks all of those boxes. Next up was the best all-rounder. Now, this was an interesting sector to research. The Honda Forza 350 or the ADV win in this section, and it's actually my personal choice as well. I opted for the ADV because I prefer the styling and the setup over the Forza, but they're brilliant bikes. They're fast enough for motorways and for touring. They're comfortable enough for decent distance touring. They are as reliable as a hammer, and they hit the perfect balance of performance and practicality and fun as well. They do everything really, really well and nothing badly. The only downside, I genuinely can't think of one. So yeah, they win in that sector. Next up was best for comfort. This was an interesting one to look at. The common one in this sector is the BMW C400 GT. It's got a plush seat, it's got a really tall screen, it's got proper weather protection. It's basically been defined as a two-wheeled armchair with a TFT dashboard. It comes in as ideal for longer rides or for anyone who might be struggling with a couple of back issues as well, or mobility issues like that. Just watch out for servicing costs. That comes out a bit because BMW parts, as we all know, aren't particularly cheap. So, which one came in as best for touring performance? Well, that clearly came in from all the research and all the different forums as the Honda Forza 750. It's a 745cc DCT gearbox bike. It's got proper motorway muscle. This is the maxi scooter that convinced me that scooters can actually be fun. It's the one that I very, very nearly bought. 70 to 80 miles an hour feels relaxed. It's not strained. It's easy to ride. The cornering is surprisingly sharp, and you get all the different add-ons. You get traction control, you get all the different riding modes. You can connect your smartphone, the lot. Storage is also pretty generous in there as well for a 750. It's not as good as the on the 350 because there is a bit of a compromise there. But this came in as best for riders who want maximum performance and comfort in one package, who kind of don't really want to compromise on the engine size as well. So you have to respect its power though. It is a big old beast. It was too big for me, which is kind of why I went for the 350 over the 750. And it's a choice I'm glad I made. But my honest take on it is it's a brilliant bike. It gets amazing reviews. And if you can afford it, if you want to go to that top end, that top range, this is the one bike garage. So yeah, they are the kind of top 5 in those different categories that have come out from all of the different research that I've done and all the different comments that I've received. Unsponsored content, just live content from riders like yourselves. Next up are the test ride essentials. So if you aren't going to throw yourself into the maxi world, yeah, as I've mentioned earlier on, I would absolutely take a test ride. Don't avoid it. And here are the key things to check out when you actually do take a test ride. Firstly, before you do actually ride it, before you get it out on the road, make sure that you bring your own gear. Check the seat height in your actual riding gear. Can you reach the ground? Can you touch comfortably? If not, kind of, just think again about what you're going to be riding. Don't just jump on and ride it either. This is before the ride. Give it a push around as well. How easy does it feel to maneuver? What does the weight feel like when you're moving it without the engine on? Because you're going to be doing quite a bit of that as well. If it's too heavy at this point, think again. Next, actually during the ride, when you're on the bike, don't just shoot off up the road and give it a fistful. Try some low speed handling before you do. Just take it around the car park or the forecourt. Do some really tight junctions before you actually get the thing moving properly. And then when you are out on the normal roads, your 30 to 40 mile an hour core riding, that's the time to do a comfort check. How does it actually feel? How responsive is it? How comfortable do you feel? And then when you get it onto the dual carriageways and the motorway speeds, that's the time to check out the power delivery. Is it smooth? Does it get you up to the speed that you want to? Again, coming back to the everyday riding, check your brakes out. Progressive braking, sudden braking, is it good? Does it need a little bit of thought? And then when you do get back, how do you actually feel? Has there been any numbness? Has there been any strain? Would you be happy with that level of comfort every single day or over the longer riding periods? Any red flags there? You know, if you've got any numbness in your hands or your fingers, any cramped legs, if you're unable to handle it at lower speed riding, anything like that. Will your helmet fit inside, like I said before? All of those things are really important to check out. If you can get an extended ride, then do that. So, pulling it all together, my final thoughts on this. Look, I know maxi scooters aren't for everyone. I get that. And if you still live for raw speed or, you know, carving through those high mountain passes every single week, you're probably still going to want something a little bit different. But, and it's a big but, if you want something really comfortable, that's really practical, and it's genuinely fun, that you can ride all year round in a whole load of different conditions, and you can tour on these things as well, then a maxi scooter might just be the smartest choice that you will ever make. Now, my advice for what it's actually worth is, start mid-range, ride it for a year, find the one that works for you. And if after that you do want more power later on, well, that's your time to upgrade. But in all honesty, in my experience, and in most of the riders that I talk to and the comments that I get on here, you never need to do that upgrade because you've got enough in those mid-ranges. And remember, simply, the best scooter isn't the flashiest or the fastest one. It's the one that you're actually going to ride more often than not. So, here's a very brief recap of everything that we've just covered. From a budgetary perspective, allow from about £2,500 up to 12 grand, depending on what you want. Your sweet spot sits right in the middle of that, the £4,000 to £7,000 price range. You get the best of both worlds without kind of breaking the bank. So think about those top picks. Do your own research as well. Don't just rely on this. Go for the one that works for you, the one that works for your budget, and the one that works for your riding needs. There is plenty of choice out there, which means it's actually easy to make the wrong choice. But yeah, resist that temptation. Be very mindful, be very honest about your type of riding and find the right one that works for you. And if you do that, it will serve you well for many, many years to come. So, yeah, that's my short kind of maxi scooter buying guide. Hopefully there are some things in there that have helped you out a little bit. Give us a thumbs up if you like it, because that helps other riders to find the channel and to find their own guidance and advice as well. Again, as always, if you've got any comments or if you've got any questions, please just drop them into the chat box. I will read every single comment and I'll reply to as many as I possibly can. But equally, if I can't reply, well, we're building a really nice, a great community of different riders with different experiences and different perspectives here. So it's not always my opinion that matters. There will always be someone else on hand to help out as well. And again, help out the other riders if you've got comments to make as well. And yeah, of course, if you do want more of this, if you're enjoying the kind of journey, yeah, just give us a subscribe, hit the notification bell, and there'll be loads more coming up in the future as well. So I think that's it. As you know, my name's Rob. This is Back in the Saddle. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. Stay safe, ride safe, and we'll see you again really soon. And remember, yeah, the best bike is the one that you ride most often. All right, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon.